No había más chiquitos allá abajo. Más limpio.
My name is Matt Harsh. My family and I operate Chesley Vegetable Farms here in Smithsburg, Maryland. We grow about 30 acres of mixed vegetables and another 10 acres of small fruits and tree fruits. We sell at 4 farmers markets in the Washington, D.C. area. We also supply 5 Wegmans grocery stores and work with a couple smaller wholesale accounts, particularly 2 home delivery companies. We're standing here in the middle of our onion field for this year. The main benefit of producing onions for us is it provides a good job for our guys early in the season, because we plant our onions in March typically, and we don't have a lot of other things going on at that time of the year, so it's a lot of work to get all these onions planted. This year we planted 200,000, so it was a very good job for them early in the year when we didn't have anything else to do. They take a fair amount of care through the rest of the year. You have to go through and hand weed them a couple of times. Make sure they're clean around the holes until about the middle of June when they start to bulb. At that point it's not quite as critical to keep the weeds out. But then there's also a big benefit to us on the back end of the season in that we pull these, dry them, and we can sell them the whole way through December and sometimes into January. So we can really extend our marketing season, and it's not something that we have to sell right away like a lot of our other crops, our tomatoes and peppers and peaches. You got to sell those right away. These onions, we can dry them and sell them well into the latter part of the year. The 2 biggest challenges from a production standpoint are weeds. There are some herbicides, but I haven't found one that's really all that good yet. And it's hard to use herbicides on a black plastic production system. So you really have to go through and hand weed them. I haven't found anything else that works other than 2 or 3 hand weedings. And you really want to get the weeds when they're small, because as soon as they start to get big, it will, as you're pulling the weeds, you'll pull the onions out at the same time. So it's really critical to get them hand weeded right around the holes at the right time. And the other major production problem is bacterial softneck, which is a bacterial disease that the onions will get. They found that it's much worse in hot years, and when the onions get heated up. We haven't had a very hot season, so it hasn't been as much of a concern for us this year. And we also use a lot of copper sprays, which is very safe. I try to keep them covered with copper at least every 7 to 10 days, or in advance of any major rain events or anything. I come out and put a copper spray on top of all the onions. And we try to make the holes, maybe when you see some of the other video, we try to make our holes big enough that the onion can actually come up out of the hole instead of getting trapped under the plastic, so they don't heat up quite as much. The marketing plan for these onions is to take them to our farmers markets, to sell them to the home delivery companies we work with, and also to sell them to the grocery stores. And that's worked really well for us the last couple of years. The fact that we can dry them and hold them is a huge benefit from a marketing standpoint. Everything else we grow is so perishable, it's got to be sold right away. And these onions, it's really nice to not have to sell these right away like we do so many other things that we grow. The fact that we can bag them and sell them in October, November, December really makes it nice for us. Keep some of our wholesale customers coming back to buy other things we have, because we can offer these onions, and there aren't a lot of other options around at that time of the year. Other marketing options for them, I'm sure if we were to roll up at some of the terminal markets or places with them, we could sell them onions. I know there's a fair amount of onions that go through the produce auctions up in Shippensburg and over at Leola. We've never tried those marketing avenues. We've stuck to selling them ourselves, but I believe other people have done quite well selling them those ways. In those ways, I mean. But it's a good crop for wholesale if you can get the volume up. If you can get enough of them planted that you can hook up with a person who wants them wholesale, we found that they can be a very good crop and a good profitable crop. And they're also great to retail.